joining us now is Chief. Please, Umukwata Kingdom, make her a chief.
They made me a chief already.
Really?
Go ahead, introduce.
Chief OjyOkpe.
Good morning.
Around the world.
Thanks, Suruf. I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm just kidding.
I was waiting for it.
How are you this morning? Our favorite Nigerian.
Good morning. Doing great.
Fantastic.
Yourself.
You know how to cheer me up. Good morning, Ayo.
Good
How are you
morning,
this morning?
Chief.
Well, all right. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing the Council of State meeting held at the State House in Abuja, where the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was given a vote of confidence, while former President Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari attended the meeting physically, while former heads of state Yakubu Gowon and Abdulsalami Abubakar joined virtually. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who has been quite vocal on policy decisions in recent times, was conspicuously missing, as well as former head of state Ibrahim Babangida. The recent protest against bad governance was on the agenda of the meeting. While speaking with journalists at the end of the meeting, the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, said that the council commended Nigerians for resisting any unconstitutional move to change government during the protest, which it described as a movement to effect the change of President Tinubu's regime.
The National Security Advisor also was on hand to present the security situation of the country, and he did inform the Council of State, about the pre, during, and post events of the last protests, which I do not call a protest. I call a movement to effect a change of regime by force, which was also resisted. And so, the council thanked Nigerians at large for resisting any unconstitutional move to change government. If anybody is not satisfied with the government, any current administration, there's always an election coming. So you wait for election and cast your vote the way you deem fit.
All right. I mean, there were a lot of takeaways from that meeting. Dele Alake here has described the End Bad Governance protest as a move to overthrow the government of President Bola. But this is not the first time we're seeing this type of, remarks when it comes to protests in Nigeria, especially in Nigeria. We only had the, NSAS protest back in 2020. Remember that President Muhammadu Buhari actually had described it as the people who tried to remove me from power. Let me take this tweet from Baron, who wrote, "Whenever the Nigerian youth protest, the Nigerian political class are always quick to target regime change. I haven't seen anything like this. Hashtag NSAS protest was regime change. Hashtag End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria is regime change. God, I beg you." But I think for me, this is the complete fact, but I think for me it was, a commentary on that council meeting, because it's a meeting with all these heads of state that would, help to make policies. The fact that Olusegun Obasanjo was conspicuously missing for me was, a big statement, because only recently he's been criticizing policies, especially in this administration. But let me take this before I come to you. Following allegations by former President Olusegun Obasanjo that members of the National Assembly are fixing their salaries and allowances themselves, which it described as immoral and the duty of the Revenue, Mobilisation, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC. The commission on Tuesday revealed that each of the 109 senators occupying legislative seats in the Red Chamber earned the sum of 1 million naira as salary and allowances per month. Obasanjo criticized the senators last week when he hosted some members of the House of Representatives in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital.
Look at, in your own case, with all due respect, you are not supposed to fix your salary or your allowances. It's supposed to be done by the Revenue, Mobilisation, and
Fiscal Commission. Fiscal Commission. Revenue Mobilisation and Fiscal Commission.
Okay. But you decide to pay yourself the allowances that you give yourself, newspaper allowances, pound allowances, sheeting allowances, to give yourself all sorts of things, with all due respect. And you know it's not right. It is not right. It is not right for me to be the one to determine what I pay myself. It's immoral. And then you are doing it. The Senate is doing it. And you beat your chest. And in some cases, even the executive give you what you are not entitled to. You all got 200 million naira.
Well, all right. On Sunday, the Senate had, tackled Obasanjo, saying that they only receive their funds, their salaries from RMAFC. And, I believe the spokesperson actually even said that, these assertions are satanic. And, but RMAFC has come up with a breakdown saying that the senators earn 1 million naira. Before I pull up the breakdown, Ayo, I would like your comment on all of the stories.
Okay, on the first story, the Council of State passing a vote of confidence on the president unanimously. I was saying off air just this morning that if former President Olusegun Obasanjo were there, perhaps they wouldn't have gotten a unanimous vote of confidence because he has not shied away from speaking out as to his displeasure. And I then warned about the danger of having people who would just tell you, you're doing well, you're doing well. When the obvious is sometimes the contrary. Yes, you can say that in terms of where he's taking Nigeria to, there's a confidence in that. But they need to read the room as well. Look at the protest that's just happened. If the people who are the most important, because they are the employers, if I could put it that way, who employed the president by virtue of their votes, are not happy with the way that things are being run, those are the voices you should listen to even more than the Council of State, with all due respect, because they are the office of the citizen is the most powerful office in the land. And so, rather than Mr. Dele Alake coming out to say that was just to overthrow this government, why not listen to the concerns of the people? Out of the 10 demands that the protesters made, especially those who are protesting against hunger and poverty, not one of those demands said, resign, step down, not even to resign or we want you to. What they mentioned specific challenges that the president should fix. And are those challenges valid? Are they real? Absolutely. Food, hunger, the cost of governance, agriculture, NSAS protesters who are still in incarceration. A number of those things that they could easily fix. So I think it's a bad narrative for the government to keep on saying that this is to overthrow the government without addressing the real concerns of the people. I think that's very important. Again, the vote of confidence, the most important vote of confidence is the vote of confidence by the people who put you in power by virtue of their votes. Yeah. Now, coming down to President Olusegun Obasanjo, please speak on, sir. It is important for us to have people, whether or not you want to say, oh, does he have the moral justification to come out and speak, to raise concerns around this. One thing RMAFC did say, or former Senator Shehu Sani did say, was it wasn't about RMAFC being able to determine the salary of the right. It is the implementation and the enforcement. That is where the gap is. And that is where there's currently a lacuna that needs to be addressed. No one is denying the fact that this is what is stated on paper as to what the senators should earn or the lawmakers should earn. What people are arguing and what the senators said was that the enforcement of it is not in the power of RMAFC. It comes to the hands of the legislators. Hence, they are the ones who determine at the end of the day. So they can ask us whether or not, at the end of the day, and that needs to be fixed. It's a lacuna that should be fixed. The people who are earning should not be the ones who are fixing, especially in light of the current situation of Nigerians.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we can see the breakdown there, of the salaries. I was quite shocked that it was ₦1 million, given the fact that a lot of people, even I had a guest on Sunday who said, I forget his name again, Sergius Ogun, who had said that members of the House of Representatives were making about 8.5 million in allowances. And for these senators to be making $1 million plus allowances, it's quite shocking. We need to go into more details. But before I come to you, Rufai, this is your people. In the meantime, an Oba in Oyo State, Oba Francis Alao, has cautioned former President Olusegun Obasanjo to stop parading himself as a saint after Obasanjo said at that meeting with members of the House of Representatives that most Nigerian political leaders should be behind bars. The Oba stated on Monday that although he aligned with Obasanjo's position The former president should lead by example by submitting himself for incarceration as a leader of this generation of the so-called corrupt people, adding that there is no way Obasanjo can exclude himself. They've come for Obasanjo.
Definitely, people will come for Obasanjo now. And Obasanjo has never come to tell you he's a saint or he's the most perfect of human beings. And concerning submitting himself behind bar, Obasanjo has gone to prison, he has come out, there's no big deal about it. In fact, he came out from prison to be president. But I asked that king, is what Obasanjo saying is it not true? Is he happy the way the country is today? What is bad about Obasanjo saying that senators are earning too much? And that's why I totally disagree with Ramfak. Who is Ramfak to talk about? I would believe Senator Shehu Sani that served in the Senate.
He said 13.5
Yes,
million.
more than Ramfak. And if Ramfak says 1 million, that's on paper. Which senator will spend billions in an election to go and be anyone 1 million? It's not possible. Because I was just doing the calculation.
Rufy on fire!
It's true now.
They spend money for the good, and they have them interesting.
So you will spend your billions to run an election to be any 12 million naira. That money is not even enough for one night with their girlfriends.
Hey, God, Rufy.
It's not even enough for some of the high-class girlfriends they carry. What are we saying? Oji.
I'm listening.
I calculated the amount.
Go ahead.
That their big Prado Jeep that they gave them 160 million. If they are to fill up that Prado, it's 93 liters. So if they are buying 800 naira per liter or 850, it's close to 81,000 naira. And let's say they fill it up once or twice in a month. That's over 200. That means the money is gone. Which senator will go to the Senate because they are collecting 1 million naira a month? It's not possible for these senators. So I believe Shehu Sani more. So there's a difference between what is on paper and what is real. What is real is that they know that, and I'm happy you quoted Segi Osogun.
Yeah.
That was even in the House of Rep, not even in the Senate.
Yeah, it's House of Rep, I was saying.
So you are saying all of these are our senators.
Allowances.
All of these are our senators will be going.
Yeah.
I remembered House of Rep sitting allowance as a 1999 alone was 14,000. 14,000 in today's money. As a 1999, adjust for inflation in today's money, it's going to hundreds of thousands. So what are you saying? They will go and sit down there for 1 million. They should stop deceiving us. But the truth of the matter is, they must be able to cut all of this allowance. And you forget they've also increased their money. They must be able to cut all this allowance at the expense of the suffering people. Shehu Sani even further now stated that they will now tell them there's a constituency project. Just go and say how much you want. And you divert your constituency. It's not most of those constituency projects that they collected that they didn't do, that we saw their secret during NSAS. Didn't, what is it called? This ICPC conducted an investigation. Couple of years ago, we took those stories extensively on this table.
Yeah.
How lawmakers were diverting constituency projects. What came out of that investigation? Babology is a babocious situation.
Babocious. Tell us what that means again.
Babocious. All to naught.
Well,
so
all right.
let's stop deceiving ourselves. No senator, I repeat.
Don't forget the prayers to emails.
Prayers to email. Let's not forget hardship allowance. I repeat, Oji, quote me anywhere. No senator will spend billions of naira to campaign senatorial election to go and be any 1 million naira in the Senate. Right. You should come and challenge me. I tell it to them.
Allowances. Vimbai, I'd like for you to discuss this as well as the other ones. In another development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed into law a bill seeking a 300% increase in salaries and allowances for judicial officials. In a statement on Tuesday, Special Advisor to the President on Senate Matters, Bashir Lado, said the increase underscores Tinubu's commitment to the welfare of Nigerian workers. In June, the Senate approved the bill after it passed a third reading. Lado said the new act prescribes salaries and allowances for judicial officers to reflect changing realities. 300%, okay? Your thoughts on this one?
You know, this takes me back to minimum wage.
Yes.
And the back and forth we had with the minimum wage argument, because minimum wage has been increased by just over 100%, I believe, right?
Over 100%.
Just over 100%. And we're talking about 300% to reflect the realities, the current changing realities. Now, I think that the judiciary hadn't received any salary increment in a number of years. So it is due to them. However, let it let it reflect in the rest of the economy. So when we're having minimum wage discussions, then let's ensure that everybody is sitting on a level playing field. So when we're talking about the senators, the reason why people are upset with regards to the senators' salaries and allowances is not because we don't want them to live large and to enjoy their lives. It's because look at the state of the nation. You can't look at the least person in the economy and say that, oh no, you don't deserve such an increment, while you're living audaciously and spending lavishly and so forth. So the 300%, can we say that, okay, is this the correct percentage that needs to be reflected when we're talking about the increase in minimum wage? Should we go back to the drawing board and start again? So this means that those people who are protesting against end bad governance are not far off when they're saying that, you know what, we've seen the increase, but it's still not reflective of what's going on in the current economy. So this number, and the other thing about this number is, you know, there's a lot of debate about the figures that are churned out as inflation figures. So, I mean, if you just do a simple experiment, go to the market, look at the cost of you know, whatever you're buying, let's say of yam, and or something not seasonal rather, look at how much you used to spend on it before. Just simple maths. And make the calculation. Quick math. You may not land at the official figures that we see. So let's have a real conversation with ourselves about what is the real increase in cost of living and how can we make everybody feel these beautiful windfalls that the judicial officers deservedly are receiving, but let everybody in Nigeria also have a piece of the cake.
Well said. My favorite Nigerian wife. People will think you just hit the nail on the head. Well said. Well, before we end What's Trending, I'd like to congratulate the family of Sodiq Olayode, whose wife, Abiodun, recently gave birth to quadruplets. The birth of the quadruplets gained popularity last month after a friend of the family revealed in a post on X that the family needed financial assistance to care for their quadruplets. Well, the post attracted a donation over 14 million naira from several users, including a donation from the foundation set by billionaire businessman Femi Otedola. The Femi Otedola Foundation on Monday presented a check of 5 million naira to the family of 8 and a scholarship pledge. I mean, how amazing is this? We saw this. Our cameraman here is asking for as well because he has twins. But this is amazing. We always love to see these sort of beautiful stories. Quadruplets. I mean, when I saw that post on X, I was one of the people that got excited, and just seeing that, Femi Otedola is one of the people that we always praise for, donating. His foundation has done well. He's a great philanthropist. But also some users, I think that they tried to get the attention of our First Lady, Remi Tinubu, as well, to donate. But it's great to see that Femi Otedola came into action. I think the idea of scholarship really, for me, is just the bottom line. Well, kudos to the family, and thank you very much again indeed, Femi Otedola.
Thanks to him. Like he says,
absolutely,
we're not taking anything out of here. And that's one philosophy about Femi Otedola I love so much. He keeps repeating it. I remember when he made that massive donation to that international charity on children, Save the Children. He said, we are not taking anything out of here.
That's it.
And may other billionaires remember, we are not taking anything out of here.
When we die, we go with our empty carcass. Well, all right. We'll take our final story under entertainment. The latest feud between award-winning musical duo P-Square made headlines this week after Paul accused his brother Peter of orchestrating his arrest by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Peter, on the other hand, accused their older brother, Jude, of diverting millions of dollars from the family's joint account into a secret company. Peter has, however, denied reporting Paul to the EFCC. The feud between the musical duo began around 2017 and resulted in their split, with each pursuing a solo career, while the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, who gained support from the musical duo during the 2023 election on Tuesday, paid a courtesy visit to the Okoyes in an attempt to resolve the family dispute.
Now I'm giving my testimony. I'm killing the beat and I'm giving them heat. Now I'm giving them everything. I'm living my life, I don't chop money. I don't taste money. allergic to poverty. So I'm using my sense to gather the property. Say, okay, no time, no. Like a Statue of Liberty. Nobody knows tomorrow.
Well, all right. It's good to see Peter Obi there, also trying to resolve issues. But we know that these musical duo, they've been in the limelight for this type of issues. But I'd like to quickly read Peter Okoye's tweet before we wrap so that he can shed more light on the story. He said, before I tell you the whole story, here's what I need you to understand. It is always surprising to me when people say P Square is always bringing their family matters into the public eye. Let me clarify this. P Square is not just a family, it's a public brand. But Peter, Paul, Jude, Anita, Ifeoma, Lola, and the rest of our family members are family. But P Square is an entity that belongs to the public as much as it belongs to us. Our fans have played a significant role in our successes, so they have the right to know what's happening with their beloved brand P Square. That's why it's understandable when certain aspects of our lives are shared publicly. I mean, this is their response, but I wish we had a lot of time to discuss this. I hope that they will, end their feud in the near future. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.